anyways, I'd like to actually give background. I'm the founder of the GlobalMana Foundation, and the reason I started a nonprofit because I was surfing in front of a nuclear power plant, and then the nuclear power plant was really old, Nixon era, and I knew that there was something weird with this massive power generation system. And years later, they decommissioned it, and it was leaking, and I felt like really betrayed by society because they, had set up these, centralized power plants that had, these massive power cables that went all over America. And it was just kind of the normal thing to do, is to set up these massive power generation stations. And I looked into it, and I felt that it's actually, the government saw centralized power grids as national security. And so looking at technology and renewable energy emerging, it seemed obvious that there was a battle between commercialized, centralized power grids and microgrids. So the opportunity for blockchain to actually transfer information, not only just currencies, but also electricity and smart contracts, which is an automated contract. It kind of opened a new door for a brand new industry called solar sharing. The opportunity for communities to actually sell solar with these concepts called smart contracts, and building communities that are off the grid so that we could take down these massive power cables and these centralized power stations and build communities that can actually buy and sell power in a community. In a nutshell, because I've been kind of on the blockchain train for a little while, what we see, the great opportunity is to create communities that are completely off this centralized power grid. There's a lot of people, they feel really guilty that they leave lights on, and actually the wire, if you follow the wire, it's just some natural gas power plant that's came from liquid methane, which was injected into the earth and is spewing out of orphan wells and causing horrible contaminants and air pollution that are causing cancer and polluting drinking water. And then we have this kind of government that quote unquote natural gas. It's a natural carcinogenic fume, but I mean it's natural, so it's okay. It's a natural kind of cancer, so don't worry. So what can you do as a human being now? When you realize that the centralized government and centralized everything has really caused so many problems, and the expansion of population on the planet, how do we deal with the realities of the world, where we all know the realities of the world, and how do we move forward? And the best way to do that is to create communities that come to terms with these problems and actually exchange solar. I mean, everybody's house should be a positive energy producing power plant that could actually sell energy to your neighbor. And so with blockchain, it could be the backbone infrastructure on software platforms that would be so simple, where if you wake up in the morning and you say that, hey, I turned all my lights off and my AC was off, and I just sold my neighbor, $24 worth of electricity because he had his refrigerator on all night. And I just made money selling the sun's energy to my friend. And then the next day it might be the other way around. But the other thing I want to talk about is how electricity actually works, and how big centralized power plants are just the most ridiculous concept on the planet, because 50% of electricity produced in centralized power grids is completely wasted, and birds are killed. And then there's so much land, the amount of real estate that is owned by governments for power lines is just astronomical. I would like to take down these massive power lines. It's the biggest problem I see. We've already ruined the migrations of birds and animals and wildlife because of power plants and pipelines and all this stuff. What I see the opportunity with the blockchain and software that can easily monitor and track seamless energy with credits and smart contracts, which are just automated. You wake up in the morning, you can check your meter, and then you built yourself into a community where you didn't have to follow the laws of the central power grid. So net metering has been a very complicated battle with energy and renewable energy, and the forces that be in America have really drawn the line on allowing people to create their own electricity. And I think that creating your own electricity should be a right that everyone on the planet should have. If you want to put solar panels in your house, I mean, they're going to come arrest you or something like that. I've heard some weird stories in some states, and it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So what humans really need to do is work together to build these communities where we can actually escape the grasp of these central power grids that are struggling to survive, because they know they're doomed. They know that technology and the price of oil is going to collapse. And what they should do is they should invest into renewable energies. And if you want to create a power plant that's renewable energy and it's your house and you want to sell power plant, I think it's your right. And this is supposed to be the free market economy. Yeah. I mean, this is something that I think that renewable energy should be lobbying in Washington, D.C. more. The rights to creating your own electricity, and it almost should be a constitutional right now. Blockchain is the great opportunity. It's the backbone infrastructure that will just be a seamless transaction. You don't have to understand the complexities of these exchanges, but they're very secure and transparent, and eliminates fraud. And it's something that the world can't deny is happening.